welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another UFC fight prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the full card of fights for UFC Fight Night, Moreno versus Erceg. So yeah, without further ado, let's get to our first fight on the card. So go all the way down, first fight on the card. Make sure everything's in right. But yeah, first fight on the card we have in the lightweight division, we got Hubbard versus Medeiros. And how do I feel about this one right here? Is I'm going low confidence Medeiros to beat Hubbard. I could play this one like an average confident pick, but I'll say low confidence. Medeiros is a solid talent, but he's still green. He should win this one. He has a much higher ceiling, if you know, but can't trust these young guys that much right now, especially in this year. So low confidence is good enough, but I still might play him like average, but I'll say low confidence here. Yeah, Medeiros, better striker, great calf kicker. He's at a great gym. Everyone in that gym is, for the most part, doing pretty well right now. He has a good bit of steam. Hubbard, you know, barely UFC level. Like, he just seems to not be able to hang here. Not very consistent. Not very this, not very that. And yeah, I think Medeiros should be a bigger, stronger, younger, better striker. Should be the triple legs of Hubbard. And I think he should be able to get Hubbard out of there. I feel like anything that Hubbard brings, I feel like Medeiros should have an answer for. And ultimately, I feel like he should be able to put Hubbard out. I think the calf kick's going to be a big factor there, chewing Hubbard up and not allowing Hubbard to really have a leg to plan on too much. And then in later round, just have him on one leg and just chewing him up and put him away. And I'm going to say late second round TKO for Medeiros. So in this one, I have Medeiros via second round TKO. Now to our next fight, we have in the featherweight division, we got Emmers versus Gabriel Miranda. And how do I feel about this one right here? I'm going low confidence Emmers to beat Gabriel Miranda. And I'm already saying that Emmers is a spot that a lot of people are loving, but I'm gonna be honest, this is not the spot to love. If he win, lose, or draw, this one, Emmers is really not the spot to love. I'm picking Emmers, but I'm not loving the spot. I feel like Emmers is a guy that, can be extremely mentally weak at times and just make poor fight IQ stuff. And Miranda probably should be the better BJJ guy. I wouldn't be surprised if Emmers hurts Miranda and just starts trying to grapple him and gets caught in a knee bar or heel hook or something. Kind of similar to what happened with the Pat Sabatini fight. He should have destroyed Pat Sabatini. Pat Sabatini is not realistically a good fighter. Let me just be honest. He's not realistically a good fighter. You had the height, you had the size, everything over Pat Sabatini. You were clipping him up, and then you dropped him, and then you can go heel hook for heel hook with a guy who's the better submission grappler and lost. Like that's about the lowest fighter you can ever see in a fight. So Emmers is not a guy to trust, especially he's a favorite. Like I'm picking him, but betting wise, I'm probably gonna leave that alone. I might play a submission prop. That's probably the smart way to play it. In the distance submission prop. That's probably how the fight will end regardless. But money line Emmers is just not for me. But yeah, Emmers on paper and realistically he's the better fighter. But where's his mind at? Is he the more mentally strong fighter? It also helps that Miranda is coming off a knockout loss. So all these things should favor and factor in Emmers' side. But again, Emmers is just not trustworthy and has shown some of the lowest fight IQ in the MMA history at points. Particularly that Pat Sabatini fight. But I'll go Emmers to get low confidence. I'll say first round TKO, but by no means making a bet on that. Miranda, striking a little bit underrated. BJJ is pretty solid. He's live for upset. I can see him catching Emmers, knocking Emmers out. I can see him submitting Emmers. I can see a lot of things happening in this fight. I can see this fight going to a split decision. I can see a lot of BS happening in this fight. That's all. But most likely it's gonna end in the distance. And Emmers should be the guy that wins. That's the key part here. Emmers should win. He's the guy that should win. He has every reason to win. And hopefully he don't choke on the egg again. Like this is a layup fight for you. Should win, but this guy's a choker. But I'll say Emmers gets it done. He's able to address the grappling, better striker, fighting a guy who's nowhere near on your skill level, who's coming off a knockout loss. You should be able to put another KO on his on his record. So Emmers via first round TKO. Now to our next fight, we have in the lightweight division, we got Garcia versus Vince Pichel. And how do I feel about this one right here? I'm going low confidence Garcia to beat Vince Pichel. Could go average, but at the end of the day, a win's a win, a loss a loss. And I think low is good enough here to beat against Vince Pichel here. So I think Garcia, low confidence, beats Vince Pichel. Yeah, Vince Pichel, he's 42 years old, not a great age. It's not like he's a big power puncher. It's not like he's some great grappler. It's not like he has a high pace. I feel like everything Vince Pichel does, I think Garcia could do better. I feel like either are particularly big hitters. Vince Pichel, when you look at the majority of his losses, has been a lot of getting grappled up And I think Rafa Garcia, he might not be the most phenomenal wrestler grappler, but he has shown at points where he can, wrestle at a good pace, take down some solid fighters, beat some solid grapplers, solid wrestlers enough. And like, he can put a good pace. He can strike pretty well. Again, he's much younger than, I think like 12 years younger or like a decade younger than Pichel. He's still in his prime. I think he's a cleaner striker than Pichel, put some more volume, could wrestle at a higher pace. And Pichel, again, we look at the majority of his losses that they have been him getting taken out, either slammed, KO'd, or just getting taken down and laid on for 15 minutes. And Hubbard Garcia is young and has cardio. It's not like Pichel, some solid, super solid striker. So I think Hubbard Garcia can outstrike him, outpace him on the feet, outvalue him on the feet. I think Garcia can get the takedowns. And Pichel hasn't really shown a great ability to get back to his feet. And again, Garcia has the cardio and conditioning to be able to put him back down. I could see Pichel getting a takedown or takedowns, but Garcia has shown the ability to get up against decent guys. It's not like Pichel's some great top grappler. He's not. So basically, Hubbard Garcia is younger and just better overall. And I think conditioning and pacing will be a big factor in one. And if anything, I can see Garcia putting Pichel away. I'm going to say like a third round TKO for Hubbard Garcia. Taking Pichel down, Pichel not being able to get back up, and Garcia dropping some brutal ground and pound on him, cutting him up, maybe via TKO via doctor stoppage, or just a flat out TKO, or maybe even a sub. I see Garcia get it done in the distance, getting, putting the pace on Pichel, getting the takedowns, dropping hard ground and pound, busting Pichel up, and then materializing the finish in this one. And that's in the third round. So in this one, I have Rafa Garcia via third round TKO. Now to our next one. We have in the women's strawweight division, we got Julia Polastri versus Lupita Godinez. And how do I feel about this one right here? I'm going low confidence Lupita Godinez to beat Julia Polastri. Yeah. Polastri's a solid fighter, but I really think she has not really fought to the skill level that Lupita Godinez has fought. And Godinez has been on the other side of that where, she seemed like this bright talent. And then she goes up and fight like the Johnny Robas of the world and Mackenzie Dern and what's her name? Angela Hills of the world, who are, much older, much more experienced, fought, elite fighters for years and years. And that's what I'm feeling here for Polastri, or Polastri in this situation. Like, Lupita Godinez, she has fought for the Johnny Robas. She has fought Mackenzie Dern to close fight. She has fought Angela Hills. Like, she fought these good fighters to close fights for the most part. All of them have been close fights. Mackenzie Dern was a very close fight. Angela Hill was a very close fight. Johnny Roba, mostly close fights. So like, she's fought these. It's not like she's been getting washed by pretty much anyone just yet. She's been in these very close fights. And that's where Polastri is. She come here and fight Godinez, who has had those experiences. I think Polastri has had one fight like that. But outside that, most of the fight competition she has fought have not really been elite level, like pretty much entry level as far as UFC level, entry UFC level. Whereas Godinez has fought fighters that, have, been top level. So I'm going Godinez here. I feel like Godinez is the better wrestler here. I feel like Godinez puts a good pace, and I feel like that experience will help her. And again, when you look at Godinez, who has she typically lost to? She has lost to those veteran-type fighters. Like, really, just look down the board, all of them. You could question this loss, question that loss, or say she should have won that, or she had no business looking like this in that fight. But all the people she has lost to have been people that have, a wealth of experience over her. Wins and losses at elite level for years and years and years. It hasn't really been fighters like Polastri. And I feel like they pretty much in the same type of fight. Like, they can throw up good volume on the feet. They can wrestle, control the position. I feel like Godinez is stronger. I feel like she has more volume on the feet. And I think she wins this one. So I think Godinez will just be the better fight. I still see it as a close competitive fight. But I think Godinez will get the nod. I think she'll be able to work her, outgrind her, win the takedown battle, probably land up more significant strikes, and win a close competitive decision here against Polastri. So in this one, I have Lupita Godinez via decision. Now to our next fight, we have in the featherweight division, we got Mel Quazel Costa versus Christian Rodriguez. And how do I feel about this one right here? Is I'm going Mel Quazel Costa to beat Christian Rodriguez. And Christian Rodriguez is a solid fighter. You definitely don't sleep on him as a dog. I think he'll be a dog here. I think he's a dog right now. But yeah, definitely don't sleep on him. But I think Mel Quazel Costa is a good enough side here. Because if you look at Christian Rodriguez's last opponent, yet again he beat an undefeated young uppercomer, and he was a dog. Like, he was a dog against Rosas Jr. I think he was a dog against Cameron Simon. He was a dog. I forget the guy he fought last. But yeah, all these young undefeated uppercomers, that's when he beat them. He took their O. And also he took the O of the other guy who was like a 45er. But again, he takes a lot of people's O. One thing about Mel Quazel Costa, he's not an undefeated fighter. He has had his experience in the UFC. Another thing, he's not an undersized, he's not undersized. I mean, he's definitely not undersized. But look at who Rodriguez beat. The people he beat weren't undersized, but he came in overweight. He beat most of them, or half of them, I guess, now. But at bantamweight, he missed weight and beat Simon. Young undefeated fighter, I don't think 25 at the time. Young undefeated, and Rodriguez came in overweight and beat him. Rosas Jr. came in overweight, beat him at bantamweight. And the guy he fought, Bashy, the guy he just beat, Bashy, undefeated fighter who largely one-dimensional. Rodriguez has shown the ability to deal with smaller grapplers and be able to stuff their takedowns for the most part, get back on feet and be able to, be more well-rounded, show that experience. And Bashy really should be a bantamweight. He's a very small featherweight. I don't know, he just don't want to change his diet up, or he want to carry a little bit more muscle around, but Bashy's a very small featherweight, and he's never going to go very far at featherweight. It's going to be at bantamweight. Unless he hits a puberty, then comes back up to featherweight, and he grew 3 inches taller or whatever, develop a better striking game. By the way, Bashy was very raw, not a big featherweight, and so was smashed up. Costa is a pretty sizable featherweight. And when you look at losses Costa had, it were mostly guys upperweight and lightweight. Guys that had experience upperweight, like what's his name, Moises. Moises has fought a lot of the best fighters, including the current champion Makhachev in a very competitive fight. And he fought him. That was a debut fight. He fought Thiago Moises in his debut. So he fought an elite fighter in his debut. That's a loss. No real shame in that one. Obviously, you want to win, but no real shame in that one. And a couple other losses, but again, mostly to guys that have size and experience. Whereas Rodriguez, the guys he has beaten have been smaller guys. So Costa won't be small. Costa will be the bigger fighter. He'll be the truer featherweight. Only reason Rodriguez is at this weight class is because he couldn't make bantamweight. He's a bantamweight for real, but he just can't, I guess, get his conditioning or whatever, his diet, whatever, together to make bantamweight. But he should be at bantamweight. Rodriguez does not have a high ceiling at featherweight. This is not his weight class. He just, sucks at dieting or whatever is the process of cutting weight. But I'm talking way too much about this one. Yeah, I think Costa doesn't fit the mold of the people that Rodriguez has been beating. And if anything, Costa might be able to get a sub here. I think Costa will have the size, have the strength. He's showing improvements in his striking, and his IQ is, happen. Like, you take your bumps and bruises, you go in there with these elite fighters. You're not going to win every one of them, but you lose those fights, you get better. He's shown his improvement in his last fight. His striking looked good. His jiu-jitsu looked good. And I think he'll do a good job of controlling the grappling in this one. I think a good job of landing hard shots. And it's not even like Rodriguez has big punching power. He doesn't have great takedown offense. He doesn't have great submission offense. So, not to say that it's a walkover fight. It's a good competitive fight, but I feel comfortable with Costa striking Rodriguez. I feel comfortable with Rodriguez. I feel comfortable with Costa striking here. I feel comfortable with Costa grappling here. So yeah, I think Costa will be bigger, stronger, landing heavier shots, be able to control the grappling and dictate the pace of this fight, especially as the fight goes on. And I can see I'll say decision. Rodriguez has been shown to be very scrappy and hard to finish. He got submitted one time. Submission is definitely on the table. Definitely be looking out for that prop. But I'll say Mel Quaizel Costa by decision here. So in this one, I got Mel Quaizel Costa via decision. Let me see. I'm talking a lot about nothing. Next fight we had. Well, I'm back. I went backwards. Next fight we have in the middleweight division. We got Atiba Gautier versus Jose Medina. And how do I feel about this one right here? Is I go average confidence. Atiba Gautier to beat Jose Medina. And this could definitely be the Musasa fight all over again to some extent. You got an undefeated fighter. He looks big and physically strong. He's like a man in his prime. But the guy's only 22 years old. He might look like he's 6'4", buff out, buff as a mug. He looked like he's 34, but he's only 22 years old. He's a Gerber baby. He's a big grown, fully grown man. And the crazy thing, he probably gonna get bigger. He's only 22. He's probably gonna grow an inch or two taller. Probably gonna move to light heavyweight in the next 5 years. He's too big to cut the middleweight. But right now he's only 22. But yeah, he'll get bigger, get stronger. But right now he's still very young, 22 years old. And so I don't want to go too crazy. Originally I was going to go high confidence Gautier, but after seeing how Musasa lost, some of the other fighters lost the prior card to the last card, yeah, you got to reserve some of that confidence and also got to be a little bit smarter about it, given how dogs have been biting and given how these young undefeated fighters have been performing. Well, I don't think he's even undefeated. I think he had one loss, but yeah, given these fresh faces. But Gautier should win here, average confidence. And it's not like Medina has an advantage, I guess experience advantage and cardio advantage. But I guess it's not like Medina has any true skill. Can he strike? No. Can he grapple? No. He's just tough and he can push a pace. Matter of fact, he can barely even push a pace. If you allow him, he can push a pace. But other than that, he just shown to be tough, and then he'll be able to, kind of get some stuff going later on in the fight. That's about it. And even then, no real knockout power, No real technical skills on the feet or on the ground. So I can see if he was a guy like, oh, he's this veteran who, you know, has good takedown ability. He has a BJJ black belt, or he was a tough guy who has like good power or good counter ability, or he, I don't know, like he doesn't have nothing in full at all. He has little parts here, but a bunch of nothing really. So Gautier should win here. Medina is tough, but again, he only pushes pace when you stop. And I feel like Gautier could just whip him. I feel like Gautier could throw him on the ground, slap him around, rock him around the fight. And if I would say Gautier knock him out, Medina is not good. He should not even be in the UFC. No disrespect to that man, but I'm tired of sending him in the UFC, and I want him to get knocked out, slid underneath the octagon, and send him to PFL, send him somewhere else. Like, yeah. But Gautier, second round knockout. Medina, you know, does have a decent underdog chances, so don't sleep on him. But Gautier should be able to win this one. He has no business losing this one. But I do respect the dog ability of Medina. But again, just a bunch of nothing. Not like he has a BJJ. Like a lot of these upsets, the people did have some advantage. Like they had the grappling advantage. Oh, they had the power advantage. Like legitimate advantages. Like what true advantages does he have? Like nothing truly, no true advantages. So yeah, Gautier second round knockout. Should be the man around the cage. Medina don't even have good defense. Maybe rip him to that soft body, come up, touch him on the chin, put him out. But yeah, Atiba Gautier via second round TKO. Now to our next fight, we have in the flyweight division, we got Edgar Chairez versus CJ Vegara. And how do I feel about this one right here? Is I'm going, why not? I'll go average confidence Edgar Chairez to beat CJ Vegara. Vegara is a tough, savvy vet, but so is Chairez. I'm gonna say first round sub for Chairez. I think Vegara is a slow starter. I think Chairez will be a take advantage. I think Chairez might be able to drop Vegara in the first, and then sub like club and sub him in the first. But yeah, Vegara is tough. Don't sleep on him. But I think average confidence is warranted here for Edgar Chairez. Chairez has been improving, and he's been putting on a couple points. I feel like Vegara has, you know, he has had his little shine, but I feel like Vegara has looked pretty bad over the past couple years. Pretty bad. Even in wins, he has looked bad. Especially in the first rounds. He's been getting like rocked in every single fight in the first round, whether he gets stopped or he survives and rallies to a decision or rallies to a stoppage. And it's not like Chairez has bad cardio. He don't. It's not like Chairez has bad strike. He don't. So CJ Vegara legitimately has bad defense a lot of times in fights. And CJ Vegara legitimately has shown pretty bad grab. Like, you know, you take him down, you can pretty much hold him down a lot of times. He shows no urgency to get back to his feet. A lot of times when people take him down, they're able to finish him. So I see Edgar Chairez clubbing and subbing him in the first round. Taking advantage of the slow start. Taking advantage of the fact that he's been stopped a lot lately. Coming off a knockout loss. Back his wall. Hurts him. Drops him. Clubs and subs him. First round submission for Edgar Chairez. So in this one I have Edgar Chairez via first round submission. Now to the next fight we have in the flyweight division. We got Ronaldo Rodriguez versus Kevin Borjas. And how do I feel about this one right here? Is I'll go average confidence Ronaldo Rodriguez to beat Kevin Borjas. Borjas is a solid enough fighter, but he's very one-dimensional. He's not even all that good in that one dimension. I feel like Rodriguez could beat him on the feet. I could favor Borjas on the feet. I could, but do I need to? Is it really that big of this or big of that? It's not. Borjas is largely a one-dimensional fighter, and again, he's not even that great in that one. If you're going to be one-dimensional, you better be like at least top 15, top 10 striking in that division, or top 10 in that discipline in your division. I would not be jumping to put Borjas as a top 10 flyweight striker. You can say, are they even really 10 flyweights in the division? Probably. I mean, they're probably about 30 flyweights. But yeah, there are a lot of. He's not better than Charles Johnson. He's not better than this guy. He's not better than that guy. I don't think he's better than Odi Osborne. Like he's not even. Yeah, he's definitely not a top 10 striker. So you one dimension, you're not even top 10 in that dimension. And I feel like Rodriguez can outstrike him. Out-grab him especially out-grab. I feel like everyone has been able to take down Borjas. Even other strikers have been able to take down Borjas. So I feel like Rodriguez will be able to hold his own on the feet. And also, Rodriguez has more power than him, so he'll be able to clip him. Borjas might be a little bit more technical on the feet. Rodriguez probably able to land a clipping shot, hurt him, take him down to the ground, or calf kick him, make him limp, double leg, scoop him up, slam him to the ground, and just dominate him on the ground. And I'm going to say second round submission for Rodriguez. Rodriguez is definitely the better overall fighter. Borjas may be the slightly better striker, but definitely the better overall package is Rodriguez. Definitely the higher ceiling is Rodriguez. Borjas has not shown any ability to improve anything. I feel like he's been the same fighter since he joined, if not a worse fighter. But yeah, Rodriguez, second round submission, just a better overall fighter, and will be able to exploit the big weakness in Borjas' game, which is his grappling. So in this one, I have Ronaldo Rodriguez via second round submission. Now to our next fight we have in the bantamweight division. We got David Martinez versus Simon Oliveira. And how do I feel about this one right here? Is I'm going low confidence David Martinez to beat Simon Oliveira. And low confidence. This is probably my lowest confidence on the card. I'm definitely feel like Oliveira is a good dog here and probably going to be one that will bite, probably. If I had to guess, if I had to, bet someone else's money on that, probably him. But not my own money. As far as my money, I'm probably not going to bet all on this fight. But yeah, Martinez should win this one, probably. Probably not. Oliveira's a good dog. I feel like Oliveira has fought more well-rounded competition, fought better competition, but it's kind of hard to lean him given the performance that he did. He got taken down by Tony Gravely the whole fight 11 times. That's not a good look. But I don't feel like Martinez grappling and wrestling is that good either. Not to say that Gravely is such a phenomenal grappler, but I don't think Martinez is going to be able to do that to him. And then he got knocked out, I think, in the second round, dominated in his last fight. Whereas Martinez is like coming off some wins and got momentum. But Oliveira has definitely fought better competition. I do think he has shown better skill. But, how really good or how trustworthy can you be when you're coming off the performances that Oliveira is coming off? If it was me picking them based off them both coming off the contender series, I would have picked Oliveira, especially as an underdog. But given the fact that you're coming off a dominating loss, in another fight you got taken down 11 times, like, hard to lean you. But yeah, close competitive fight. Go decision, could go split decision, someone could get knocked out. I'm leaning more so decision. I feel like Martinez has maybe more punching power. He'll be the taller fighter, but I think Oliveira will have the reach by a good bit. But very close fight. Very competitive fight. Oliveira's more around. Again, it's a fight that could go either way. So if you would had to make a bet, I'd say dog or pass. But I would say prediction-wise, Martinez goes to decision. Oliveira probably a little more well-rounded. Probably a close split decision. Oliveira trying to mix up a little more, trying to do a little more. Martinez probably landing heavier shots. Striking toes probably close. It's probably going to come down to, one of those decisions where who do you want to win? Who do the judges want to win? So you can't really feel bad about whatever way it goes. Martinez probably going to land harder. Oliveira probably going to land more. Oliveira probably going to mix up a little bit more, but probably not, too much success with mixing them. He's not going to be taking him down, hold him down, threatening with so much submissions. It's going to be take him down maybe twice, 2 of 5 on takedowns. Done nothing with it. Martinez probably going to land a harder shot. Oliveira probably going to land 5, 6 more strikes. It's going to be one of those fights. So I really don't need to say nothing more. So David Martinez, low confidence to win here by decision. So in this one, I have David Martinez via decision. Now to our next fight. I feel like I'm going to sneeze, but let me try to tough it through. Got a lot going on. Sick, dealing with loss, but I keep on pressing on. I'm not really trying to have this video too long, but it's going to end up being long regardless. Next fight we have in the bantamweight division, we have Raul Rosas Jr. versus Vince Morales. And how do I feel about this one right here? I'll go average confidence Raul Rosas Jr. to beat Vince Morales. Vince Morales realistically is a very good dog here. As far as if we just didn't know his history. Style-wise, skill-wise, ability-wise, he's a tough matchup for Raul Rosas Jr. on paper. But given his history, the worst thing you could be in anything is a loser. Not to say that Morales is like a loser in life, but as far as at the UFC level, he's a loser. Again, not an insult, it's the truth. He's a loser. You got plenty of guys that are elite, have more skills and more around it, and probably in the gym better than a lot of these guys that are top 10, top 5. A lot of these guys that are in the top 5, they're so incomplete. They're so sloppy. Some of them might even champion like Dricus Duplessis and whatnot. But they're winners. Probably when they lose the belt, they probably go on and they start looking like the losers that they are once they lose, because you start to see how incomplete they are when somebody shows you point by point how to beat them. But when they're hot, those guys be like top 5. But then be guys that like Morales, who he could strike, he could grapple, he has cardio, he has experience, he has IQ. It seems like he has everything, but he just doesn't have winning IQ. He just can't seem to win. That's the worst thing you could do. You could be in there, most well-rounded, most skilled guy, the highest book knowledge of MMA, but it'd be guys that just can't put it together to win. Versus guys that can't put a sentence together, but they know how they have the innate ability to win. They have the skills as well, but they just have innate ability when they're so patchy with their skills. That's what Morales is. But he's a guy that can't seem to win. And Raul Rosas Jr. is obviously a high level prospect. His last performance definitely was disappointing, but I think he'll win here. I can see a submission for Raul Rosas Jr. Yeah, I ain't gonna say too much. Raul Rosas Jr. by submission, probably second or third round. Second round submission for Raul Rosas Jr. He'll probably land the harder strikes on the feet. Bigger, younger, stronger. And he's gonna be looking to make up for his last performance that was not the best at all. And I'm going to see a second round submission for Rosas Jr. just opposed to William Morales. And Morales already, you know, he's probably going to go in there just thinking he's going to lose. Like, he has probably, what, like two of, like, 8 UFC fights. Just like his third stint in the UFC. Back against the wall now. And he just probably is going to accept the loss. And Rosas Jr. is, like, probably an okay start from Morales. But then when it's going to get tough, he probably is going to check out. And Rosas Jr. is going to take over, take him down, dominate him on the ground, and get that second round submission. So in this one, I have Rosas Jr. via second round submission. Now to our next fight, we have in the middleweight division, we got Gastelum versus Joe Pyfer. And how do I feel about this one right here? Is I'm going high confidence Joe Pyfer to beat Gastelum. Gastelum's fat little midget, has no business being at middleweight. You know, he has had some success at middleweight in the past, but now you're old. I'm not gonna say he's old, but he's been around. He has experience. But I'm talking too much. The main thing is he has no business being at middleweight right now. Absolutely no business. He has weak grappling ability, weak takedown defense at this weight class, weak grappling defense. Pyfer should be able to knock him out on the feet, should be able to take him down and dominate, and I think that's what Pyfer's going to do. On the feet, you give Gastelum a chance, but Pyfer, you know, he has the grappling side. And some people act like, oh, Pyfer's going to have this ego to do this and do that. Like, nah. Pyfer, when he feel like there was a threat on the feet, he has definitely shown the ability to take it down. Maybe against Hermanson, because Hermanson has grappling as well, and Pyfer was young and green. Like, it wasn't as easy to take down Hermanson and control him. But Gastelum is a little fat midget with no takedown defense. He'll be able to take him down, manhandle him, slap him around, pull his pants down, choke him, pull his hair. Like, Gastelum has no business being at this weight. Like, he needs to stay at welterweight. He needs to get his diet down. He should be fighting at lightweight. He's a little fat midget, and he need to take himself seriously. But, yeah, I see an embarrassment for Gastelum here. I see Pyfer just take him down, doing whatever he wants with him, submit him in the first round. Maybe even dropping him, then subbing. But I just see Pyfer just manhandling Gastelum, who has no business being here. Pyfer's a much bigger fighter, much better grappler. He'll fully exploit that. Put Gastelum on his butt, tap him out first round. So, in this one, I have Joe Pyfer via first round submission. Now to the next one, we have in our co-main event in the lightweight division, we got Manuel Torres versus Drew Dober. And how do I feel about this one right here? Is I'm going low confidence Manuel Torres to beat Drew Dober. Drew Dober's always live for a puncher's chance. It's like Manuel Torres is just such a solid prospect. You know, he's seemingly been just a first-round fighter, seemingly. Kill or be killed fighter, seemingly. And Drew Dober, you know, he has shown the ability to be able to take that first-round rally and put you away in the first round or put you away later in the fight. So, it's all things to be seen there. But Drew Dober, you know, he's been a middle-of-the-pack fighter his whole career, so I'm not leaning him here. And I think he might even be the favorite here. Might even. But I'll go Manuel Torres. I think Manuel Torres has at least enough ability to beat Drew Dober. I think he can sub Drew Dober. I think he can knock Drew Dober out. And, yeah. But, close fight. You know, not close fight. I think this fight probably going to look definitive on either way. Like, whether Drew Dober knocks him out, Torres knocks Drew Dober out sub, it's going to be definitive. But, on paper, it's one of those fights that could go either way. Either you kill me or I kill you, pretty much, type of fight. Don't think it goes the distance. Definitely think it ends by stoppage. And, I say Manuel Torres via first round submission. I think he'll be able to catch Drew Dober early and then tap him out. Is that going to be a little bit of hesitation? Definitely going to be some close calls. He might have Torres rocked at one point. Dober, I think they both going to be rocked at some point in this fight, probably. Most likely Dober's going to be the only one, you know, of the two that's definitely going to get rocked. But I can see both guys getting rocked in this one. But I think Torres going to be too young, too strong, too big, too long, and be able to, you know, eventually that's going to overwhelm Dober, whether it be in the grappling or strike department or a combination of both. And he's going to be able to club or just pick Dober up, put him on the ground, start to drop some elbows on him, get Dober to transition, and then take advantage, choke Dober out. First round, I'm going to say first round submission for Torres. That's what I'm going. So, in this one, I have Manuel Torres via first round submission. Now to our main event, we have in the flyweight division, we got Brandon Moreno versus Steve Erceg. And how do I feel about this one right here? Is I'm going low confidence Brandon Moreno to beat Steve Erceg. And Erceg is definitely live here. I'm not going to count him out, but I got to go Brandon Moreno here. Especially after seeing Erceg just get flatlined in his last fight. I think Moreno, you know, Erceg looked good in the Pantoja fight. One, because it was like a short notice fight. Nobody really respected Erceg. So the respect wasn't there as much. Erceg does have the grappling ability to, you know, address some of Pantoja's game, some of it. And he did have the lift. It's not like Pantoja is the most clean striker. He kind of comes in just swinging. And Erceg was able to take advantage of that to some extent. So there's a lot of factors that benefit Erceg. Like, you're the fight, like, everybody knows Pantoja, he's the champion. He has had plenty of fights in UFC. Like, nobody really respect or care for Erceg. He's a good fighter, but nobody really cared. Like, we didn't care. We didn't care then. We kind of cared after. And now we back to not really care who Erceg is. good fighter, but yeah, it's like Erceg kind of benefited from nobody really caring about him. That's what he kind of benefited. Like, he was a solid prospect, solid contender, but like nobody was like, oh, this guy gonna do this, that. But yeah, he's long. He has pretty good striking. He has pretty good grappling defense. But I think Moreno's a much better striker than him. I think Moreno can push a better pace than him. I think Moreno can out-grapple him, out-wrestle him. But yeah, Erceg will be, he'll be live here, but I just think Moreno's, experience is going to be too much for him. I think his value is going to be too much for him. And his pressure. And I think Moreno's back. He's back locked in, especially at his last performance. Like, he could have easily just went to a decision in that fight. But he's like, nah, I want to finish. Like, Moreno is locked in. He's hungry. He took his time off. He come back sharp. And I just don't really see nothing in Erceg game. It's not like Erceg's some big puncher. He's not a big knockout guy. His counters aren't that good because he barely could counter Pantoja, who was coming in with chin in the air swinging. So, yeah, I don't think Erceg he don't have the biggest power, punching. He don't have the biggest punch. Don't have the greatest counter ability. Moreno has better striking. He has better volume, better pacing. He mixed up the arts much better than Erceg. It doesn't help the fact that Erceg has come off a knockout loss. And I'm going to say a third round TKO from Moreno. I think his pressure, volume, pressure, volume, and pacing is going to be too much for Erceg, especially with Erceg coming off a knockout loss. I need a bit of breakdown Erceg and put him away in the third round. And if anything, Erceg has shown a bit of a questionable chin. Like, I think he got rocked a couple fights, and obviously got dropped in the last fight. And that hasn't even always been by the biggest puncher. So, yeah, Moreno third round TKO. Too much experience, too much volume, too much pressure, and too much of a pace. And I think he's going to be able to overwhelm Erceg. Probably a good start. But once Moreno gets it going, I think it's going to be like a downhill or uphill for Erceg from that point. Yeah, uphill for Moreno. Uphill for Erceg. Like, uphill battle for Erceg, but a downhill whooping for Moreno. Moreno just pushing the pace and drowning Erceg and putting him away in the third round. So, in this one, I have Brandon Moreno via third round TKO. And so that concludes my fight predictions for the full card of fights for UFC Fight Night, Moreno versus Erceg. And as always, thanks for watching. Peace out.